In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the host or the gatekeeper of this particular program, known here on the internet, some of y'all call the World Wide Web. However you may call this medium, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would like to, before we begin this journey, I would like to bring before us parental discretion is advised. Normally, it is not my style to be vulgar, profane, nasty mouth, but due to the emotional content of this particular subject, I might have to let loose just a little taste. But believe this, I do not make profanity, vulgarity, having a nasty mouth, I do not make that as a regular thing, because that is not me. Like I said, perhaps I might not sling a little filthy words out there in this talk, but just in case, I want to and wish to warn the competent parents for those children who are of age, whereas they should not really be exposed to such talk. However, whether the children are listening to this video or not, perhaps even in the home, on radio, on television, our children already know these words. So a parent should be able to sit down and tell their children why it is not proper to use such words. I am not trying to use these words just to be nasty or filthy or foul-mouthed. I'm using the four-letter words in a certain context. So every other word is not MF this, kiss my this. You will never hear that from me, because I know how to articulate and explain exactly how I feel, so I do not need fillers. Profane language is a filler for something somebody wants to express, but they really don't know how, so they fill the void with four-letter, five-letter, nasty mouth. So it would distract you from the fact that there is a void. Oh, he cussed, but you're not listening to the fact that the cusser is leaving a void. They are having a difficulty explaining something, and most times when we have difficulty explaining something, it is because really we don't know. And for those who hear but they don't listen, the speaker can continue to get away with that, and you may love the speaker because of how he or she represents the word, but it is like eating an apple that has no nutrition. The apple is beautiful, it is bright red, it is ripe, has a nice taste, has a little sugar in it, but it offers no nutrition. I want you to be able to come to this ministry and eat from this tree, whether it is an apple or orange or banana, I want you to be able to eat from this tree. Take that fruit, and from that fruit, you acquire some type of nutrition so that your mind can grow, so that you can think for yourself, so you can be analytical, so that you can use logic and reason and common sense. If this ministry is not accomplishing these goals, then surely, please tell me to shut up. Because in my mind, I am giving us something that has nutrition and not junk food, something that give you calories but no nutrition. Now, I said all that just to say parental discretion is advised. Oh, man. I want to share with us something that I post from my Facebook, and I will read the words directly from the Facebook page. But prior to this, I want to say a little something before I go into the post. The topic or the subject that we've chosen for this particular video lecture. And again, for me, it could be so emotional because I am real in this. I have been real in this, and I want to see us as a people free ever since I was a little boy. While some of you were not even born, some of you were playing G.I. Joe, some of you were riding your bikes up and down the street, and as a child I was doing the same things, but along with childish things, I had an adult mentality because I understood that our people were under an oppression. We were being victimized and discriminated against, treated with ill will. I understood that it is time for a change. It is time that we become liberated from an abuser. Some of you claim the same thing. You claim the same thing. But when we look at our actions, we don't see it. The topic that I've chosen for this particular video lecture, and I hope not to have you long, but please listen, not hear, listen to what I am saying to us. The topic that I've chosen is, contrary to belief, black conscience, black power, black conscience, black power, Uncle Toms, Coons, and Sambos do exist. You can holler black power, you can holler Hotep, you can holler O'Shea, Ashe, however y'all say that. Assalamu alaikum. You can say all these different things in relation to black conscience, black power, black liberation, however you view the struggle. But there are many of us, and this could be you. And I know I will accept many people. In fact, it's a possibility I could even be upsetting myself. But it makes no difference. Real truth must be told. I was given this assignment, and whether it hurts my feelings or not, it must be told. Because if you're not doing what you need to do in order to free yourself from out of a situation, then such will never be accomplished. And so you're only fooling yourself. And some of us, we want to be fooled. We want to be a pretend black revolutionary. We are conscious, but yet we're still asleep. We are black conscious, but we don't think no different than an Uncle Tom, a dark European, a Coon, and a Sambo. But you hide behind the church of black conscience, the church of black power, the church of African spirituality, however y'all want to call it. We need to talk about that right now. Are you, am I, a black conscience, a black power, Uncle Tom, a Coon, and a Sambo? Are we these things? And if that is so, then we are worse than James David Manning. We are worse than Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell, and all these Larry Elders and all these Negroes that y'all call Uncle Toms and Uncle Ruckuses and dark Europeans. You are worse because you're supposed to know better, and you're supposed to be doing better, and you're supposed to be striving for the opposite of what they represent, but in actuality and in reality, you're doing the same thing. Let's talk about this. Do you know, in order to call yourself a black liberator, do you know, in order to call yourself a black revolutionary, when you decide, I am going to be like Malcolm X, when you decide, I'm going to be like Marcus Garvey, when you decide you're going to be like Harriet Tubman, when you decide you're going to join this struggle called black liberation and become what we call or view as a black revolutionary, you want to be like Nat Turner, then do you understand, do I understand that you have decided and we have decided to become criminals? Harriet Tubman was a criminal. She was an enemy of the state. She was going against the laws of the United States of America. Malcolm X was a criminal. Nat Turner was a criminal. Marcus Garvey was a criminal. Elijah Muhammad was a criminal. If you go and reference biblical teachings, and we reference the person we call Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ was considered a criminal. He was treated just like a criminal. In fact, they viewed him worse as a criminal. In fact, in today's modern times, Jesus Christ would have been called a terrorist. So when Jesus was called and considered and targeted by the government, and he had a government upon his shoulders, then the government has to keep an eye on this troublemaker. You have decided to become a criminal. You are a troublemaker. You have become an enemy to the state. What does this mean? It means they will treat you the same way they treat terrorists. You do see what they done to Osama bin Laden. He was considered a terrorist. They send their drones all over the earth dealing with terrorists. Assata Shakur, some of y'all praise her name, but you won't do nothing near what this sister has done. She is considered a terrorist, hiding out in Cuba. We want her back in America, not so we can kiss her, not so we can hold her and praise her. We want her because she's a terrorist. So we need to keep an eye on all those who support this woman in Cuba, because chances are they are terrorist wannabes. But when you decide to go up against the government, when you decide that you are a freedom fighter, a revolutionary, in your eyes, you are fighting for freedom. In your eyes, you are fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. But in the eyes of your opponent, in the eyes of your oppressor, you and I, we are troublemakers. We are criminals. And you eventually will be treated like a terrorist. Are you ready to pay the consequences? Assata Shakur had to leave this country, never to return. And if she do return, she's going straight to prison for the rest of her life. Many of you have never had a traffic ticket in your life, but you talk all this black power, black liberation stuff. You never spent not one day in jail. But when you become part of this movement of liberation, then you must get your mind ready that not only jail will you face, but they will send you to the morgue. How many Black Panthers did they kill? How many members of the Nation of Islam did they kill? How many men in the Marcus Garvey movement did they kill? Send back to the countries that some of them came from, the harassment, the telephone calls. Y'all know this, but you don't understand the reality. Do you really understand what black liberation is? Do you understand what a revolution is? All of you quote all this history. But look at the history of black people in this nation and you compare it to any other revolution in history. There is no comparison. Black people are the most educated, the most richest, oppressed people ever in history. And your struggle goes on and on and on and on. For an up-to-date modern example of revolution, we can use Syria. I don't know anything about the rebels in Syria. There is a group of people, as far as the government of Syria is concerned, this group of people that's fighting the government are terrorists. But the terrorists view themselves as freedom fighters. Over 100,000 people have died in this civil war. The government and the rebels that they call terrorists. But these rebels no longer want this government on their shoulders. So many have died. Many are sacrificing. Many of the people have become refugees and gone outside of the border to escape the violence, while there are men who have decided to arm themselves and go up against a tyrannical dictatorship. I don't know what that situation is. I'm using the rebels as an example because they are dying. They are suffering. They are fighting. While you are doing what? You standing on the street selling DVDs. Come to my debate. Hear my lecture. Let's get in bed and make some more babies. Not for my benefit, but for our massa. Let's smoke some weed. Let's do some drugs. Your idea of revolution is warped. It's delusional. It's fictional. And above all, you don't have the strength. And you fear death. That is the reason why the black man and woman have become the world's greatest slaves, because you fear death. You fear sacrifice. You fear pain and suffering. Even though that's what you got. There was was nothing good about slavery. There's nothing good about living under this racist. But you don't mind suffering under the massa, but you won't suffer to free yourself from that massa. You are fake. You are fake and fraud. That is the reason why you are attracted, and you already know that some of your favorite, and I don't have to name them, action speaks louder than words. I might name them later on, but you know who they are, and you love them because you are just as fake as they are. You love the black power, black conscious, Uncle Toms, Coons, and Sambos. You love them because you fake yourself. None of you are dying in the name of black liberation. None of you are suffering and sacrificing. Y'all live comfortable. None of you are refugees. None of you have been forced to go to Cuba or China and seek political asylum anywhere. You're a bunch of fakes. You know how to put on a beautiful show. And that's why many of these people don't listen and come to this ministry. Because they know that I know that you're fake. I know exactly what a revolution is supposed to be. What it's supposed to look like. I'm not tripping off what Malcolm X said. What Elijah Muhammad said. And the film clips from the Black Panther Party. I am here to bring us reality. I am here to bring us what we really have to face. But you already know some of these things, and y'all are cowards. So you can pretend to be of black conscience. What's the sense of knowing all this? It means nothing if you are not free and liberated to act upon what you have learned. You are still a slave and cannot apply all these things that you are learning. Because a massa is not going to allow you to do what you think you want to do in his house. You love fairy tales. And black folks, Africans all the way to Egypt and prior to Egypt, the black man, these African people, love fantasy and fiction. The Egyptians love to worship death. All kinds of gods and spirits. We love stuff like that. You don't like the Realist temple. When I speak about fighting against this Caucasian man, you clap your hands. But when I tell you you need to get rid of your religion and spirituality, you want to hold on to that for dear life. Because y'all Negroes, you love delusion and fairy tales and fantasy and fiction. Because you get high off of it. And when you get high off of it, it takes you away from your reality. So you don't have to deal with it. You really don't want to face and deal with this Caucasian pink people. You scared of them. You are scared of them. You dress up like an Egyptian. You want to talk Arabic. All this stuff. And you still living in the Massa house. You are Arabic speaking slave. Bean pie eating slave. Pyramid worshiping slave. That's all that you are. Black conscience and black power, you made a joke out of it. Nothing but a black power conscious church. Go all over the country just to hear a speech. If the speech is not inspiring you to take drastic action to free the people, and that requires blood, it requires death, it requires the taking of nobody's life. That's just the bottom line. Look at Syria. Look at any revolution. It's not a game. It's not church. And you run around talk about the Christians. And you do the same thing. Let's go to the debate. Listen to the DVD. Church. Black conscious church. The Million Black Youth Church. That's all it is. Nothing but the junior Sunday school. Because you're not teaching and showing the children the reality of what they're facing. Church. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? When you become a black revolutionary, when you are in the struggle of black liberation, you become a criminal. And you have to, and chances are eventually you will have to break the law of your oppressor. That's just the reality of it. You are a criminal. And you will be punished under the laws of your oppressor. That's why in Syria, the rebels, they have to take up arms. And it does not make a difference whether you win or lose. You got to show yourself and you got to show your people that you really mean business. And perhaps one day, if you lose the fight, one of these children will be inspired by brave men and women and say, we're going to go for it again. Because ain't no time, there's no way an oppressor is going to release their grip. They kick you in the backside, and then, as far as they're concerned, it's over. But it's never over. They killed Malcolm X. They killed Martin Luther King and Nat Turner, Medgar Evers, and so many of our known leadership. But the struggle is still alive. Y'all cowardly, and you're scary, and you're churchified, but it's still here. And maybe there's a baby out there that will do what you too scared and cowardly to do. Because actually you are comfortable in your massa house. You got your pretty car. You got your pretty house. You got a decent job. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to Polite, Wesley Muhammad, Sadie, nobody, because I don't need none of you. I can make it. I can do it all on my own. Comfortable slaves. But during the time of Nat Turner, the devil would knock your door in, rape your wife, take you by the neck and string you on a tree. Those black people understood the need for a revolution, but they could not stand up because they were scared. So you had a little handful of people like Nat Turner. But Negroes have always been scared. You gonna die from something anyway. A coward dies many times, and I'm telling you from experience. But a brave man died once, and once that brave man died, whether you win or lose, you are respected. Man, he lost, but he went down fighting. But when you're a coward, nobody respects you. When you're a little sissy, nobody respects you. And don't try to talk bad, because somebody gonna call your bluff. Just recently, King Samir Shabazz running around on YouTube, National Geographic, telling everybody, I hate crackers. kill the babies. And then the cracker caught him with a gun. And he put his tail between his legs and went on to jail when he should have took his gun and got to blasting some crackers. Who are you to take my gun away from me, cracker? But no, he want to live to see another day because he's making a family in the oppressor's house. I want some children in the oppressor's house. Y'all laying around watching porn all day, making babies, revolutionaries, making babies in your oppression in the master house, having families. Y'all go to Disneyland in the master's house, laying around in the jacuzzi. You are not revolutionaries. You're fake. And that's why they stay away from the reality's temple on earth. It's because I have to be real with us. How long does it take to liberate somebody? Been talking this black revolution, black liberation stuff going on 100 years. You ain't been liberated yet. You know why? Because you really don't. You don't want to suffer. You don't want to sacrifice. Just a few handful want to do this. It's not enough to get the job done. So the masses of the people are not inspired because they know that y'all fake. The people are ready. The children that participated in the Million Youth March, they ready. The problem is leadership not ready because leadership don't want to go to jail. Leadership don't want a bullet in their neck. Leadership don't want to go to the morgue. Leadership don't want to go to prison the rest of their life. They're not ready to make the sacrifice. The leadership is a bunch of black power, Uncle Tom, Coons, and Sambos. That's why there has been no change since the 1960s. Some of you have fallen in love with the enemy, making friends and hugging and kissing the oppressor and his children. Then you want to get angry at me because I question this. These are the people, these are the children of the very people that put you in the condition that you're in. Giving us a quick example. Many of you know that I was incarcerated for 10 years. They asked me, would I come back to visit? I'm looking at them like they are out of their mind. Why would I want to go visit a place that I hate? See, y'all really like the United Snakes of America. Really, you do. You like Disneyland. You like McDonald's. You like Arby's. You like the AMC theater. Y'all go eat popcorn and watch the movies. You comfortable slaves. There is nothing about that facility that I like. I don't like their food. I don't like their movies. I don't like their soda pop. I don't like them, period. I hate them. You don't hate America, really, because you comfortable. You are an institutionalized slave, and you suffer from post-traumatic slave syndrome. You love your abuser. There is no way that I would turn around, fall in love, and marry one of them suckers that participated in my oppression. Nor would I claim any child or any relative that married one of them people, their relatives that was associated with my oppression. Some of y'all claim that's all right. Some of y'all never had a traffic ticket. You never suffered. You never was lynched. Your mother, you never seen your mother lynched. Father's lynched. You claim that you have feelings for your ancestors, but you can marry, and you want to justify laying up, sleeping with the enemy. How would our ancestors feel when Emmett Till, he was murdered because he's supposed to whistle at a Caucasian woman, and you gonna turn right around years later and you want to marry and lick them, and you sorry ass pieces of trash. Your best bet is to stay away from me. I would treat anybody with respect. I would treat anybody the way I want to be treated. And I understand that the children did not commit this sin. However, you are still their children. And I don't want nothing to do with my oppressor. No child of mine is going to lay down with those who have caused harm to us as a people and to me personally. If that child wants to do that, you are no longer my baby. You're no longer my child. And I consider you an enemy. And the same way I view the enemy is the way I view my own child. And we learned that from the, I believe it was the Chinese Revolution. During the Chinese Revolution, they had to kill their own parents, turn in their own parents and relatives to the authorities during this uprising because they was traitors. They was on the wrong side. Either you with me or you against me. But this is not a shock to me. This is the behavior of those who still suffer trauma. Most people, many of them, they will fall in love with those who abuse them. Mentally sick. So it is easy for you to be attracted to the black conscious, black power, Uncle Tom, Coons, and Sambo, because that's really you too. Holding on to your fairy tales and your delusions. Ain't no God gonna come out the sky and do nothing for you. Ain't no spirit. Ain't no earthquake. Ain't no spaceships. Whatever happened to you that is good, it was due because some man helped put it into existence. It was men, not no tornado, not no spirit, not no little gremlin. None of these things put you and me in our bad condition. It was men. A man with an evil and wicked mind, filled with material lust. And out of that material lust, he made manifest murder. So you're dealing with a murderous people. And we have a right to defend ourselves. You don't want to express that right because y'all living good. And you want to hold on to your fantasy religion and spirituality because it takes you away from reality. What is truth? Some of y'all claim, I got the truth. Truth is simply that which is consistent with facts, and many of y'all have lots of facts. But it is consistent also with reality. And if you promote religion, that's not reality. If you promote spirituality, that's not reality. That's some fantasy delusional stuff that you need to throw away. But see, slaves like that because slaves want somebody else to do their fighting for them. Come on, little gremlin. Free me from my massa, because I'm scared. Come on, mothership. The mothership gonna come out the sky. Come do our fighting for us, mothership. Lazy and cowardly. So you deserve everything that you get. You deserve to be a slave. You only fool yourself, because you don't fool the racist pink people. They see you for exactly what you are, a bunch of black power, black conscious, Uncle Tom, Coons, and Sambos. Everything that you do, as long as you live in the United States of America, no matter how much you holler black power, Ashe, Hotep, Assalamu Alaikum, everything that you do living on this soil, as long as this devil is in power, you benefit him. So how are you liberated? You suffer from post-traumatic slave disorder. You're going to get angry at me because I don't want to associate with Caucasian people. They are the problem. They are at the root of the reason why we are in the condition that we're in, and I want to be friends and associate with that which caused the problem to begin with. Are you sick? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But take your sickness away from me. I don't want nothing to do with you. What is it that they fear? And y'all say this all the time. They fear an all-black planet. That's what I want. You said that the original man is the Asiatic black man. The original man is the black man. So how are you going to go back from whence you came, romancing the oppressor, thinking like the oppressor? Keep mixing yourself within the oppressor's DNA so that they will turn black and they will become black. And the black planet that you think is supposed to be so African, it will really be European. Oh man, did you hear what I just said? With your mentality, the planet will be black, but it will be European, not African. Nothing of the original, with y'all thinking. I want to return the planet back to the hands of the original man, the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, not just of this planet, but all that which you see with your eyes and beyond, you can master. In Christian teachings, it says that you have to be born again. What does this mean? Does this mean, and surely it cannot mean that in some way I can go back into my mother's womb, but I can manipulate the DNA, and I'm a Caucasian person because I'm not the original man. I'm not the real God, as y'all say. But I can put myself in the right position and manipulate the DNA, manipulate the mentality and the mindset of the original people, and put myself in a position that I will eventually begin to, what's the word I'm looking for? But I'll begin to dissolve back inside the original man. Whereas I'll come on top. So the original man will have the mind of the European instead of the African, that what we call African. And the Caucasian has been has become born again, because the reality of it, this is where he came from to begin with. But now, the only thing he's missing is the melanin. Y'all teach it. This is what y'all teach. The Caucasian is missing the melanin. But the way that y'all talk and the way you think, he will be easily able to regain his melanin, something that he was denied, something that he was lost, and come back into the original people, and he will no longer have to fear the black planet, because he will be the black planet. And you will be extinct, and well deserving of that extinction, because you were such a fool. Because somebody can smile in your face, because somebody can laugh, because somebody got some good sex, and y'all some porn fiends. Y'all like everything, anything that make you feel good. That's why y'all like y'all fairy tale religion. You love that spirituality. You love your drugs and alcohol. You love your porn because it make you feel good. And when you get high and feel good, it take you away from the reality of your slave-ass life. It makes you so you don't have to think about how much of a coward you really are. How fake you really are. It is best that you stay away from the reality's temple on earth. Because I want this liberation for real. It's taking too long. I've never heard of a revolution and oppressed people going on almost 100 years. What the hell is wrong with you? If that's the case, why don't you just admit that you're a good slave and just stop all this black conscious, black power, because you don't mean none of it. You fakes. And as long as I can speak, I will remind you that you are fake. A black liberator, a black revolutionary, not only is your mission is to liberate the people, but you also must have plans in place. You must have a thought process in place. What are you going to do with the people once you liberate them? What is the plan for the future? Not in 10 years, not in 20 years, but 100 years down the line. Have you thought that far? No, you have not, because you cannot even get yourself liberated. Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1995. Excuse me a second. Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1995. He called for the Million Man March. And just recently, we had the Million Youth March. And I very much doubt that 1 million youth showed up to participate in this march. In fact, we should stop this march crap, period. We love to do things over and over that produce no fruit. In 1995, Louis Farrakhan is the only black man, the only black man in the history of our struggle that had an opportunity. There was from 1.5, some even say at least 2 million black men came to Washington, D.C. Rastafarians, 5% Nation, Christians, Muslims, atheists, agnostics, from all ways of life. They came to Washington, D.C. to be disappointed. You say you want to uplift 40 to 70 million black people in this country. Louis Farrakhan said that through him, that through him, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would get all his people. But here you are, you had the ears of about 2 million people, actually more, all over the country. Black people was listening to Louis Farrakhan. And what did Louis Farrakhan do? Nothing. He gave a sad speech and disappointed everybody that came to the march. And then the leader, the voice, the creator of the Million Man March, when he heard the Uncle Toms and the dark Europeans make fun of him 24 hours a day, telling him how he blew it, instead of fighting back and keeping the momentum of the march, the man who created the march decided to get on an airplane and travel around in the Middle East. This is the type of leadership that we have had. And leave your soldiers and abandon your people after you started something. That's what's wrong with many black folks. You start something, then you quit. Because somebody talking about me. So you run to Saudi Arabia. You go to Iraq and Iran and Libya. So you don't have to hear these niggas talking about you. You are the one that said, through me, Elijah Muhammad said, I'm going to get all my people. But then when the people start to come, you don't even know what to do with them. The black power, black conscious, Uncle Toms and Coons and Sambos, that's the type of people that y'all listen to. Who are they? What are they really about? Are they about your liberation? Are they really about your freedom? Are they about themselves? Glorification, grandiose, egotistical maniacs, material seekers, celebrity seekers. What are they really about? You know something? I've talked so long and I haven't even really got to the post. Can y'all bear with me? Can you hang with me? There is something that you never hear from black people anymore in the hood. And that is an old saying, let's get real. Baby, I'm real. Black people used to say that all the time. I'm real, baby. You never and very rarely hear black people express real. Never. And you never hear black people talk about their soul. Man, hey baby, I got soul. We used to have soul music, not R&B. But the reason why you don't have soul is because you sold your soul for diamonds. You sold your soul for material things. You sold your soul for celebrity. Malcolm X was not part of the black struggle because he was looking for celebrity. He was not looking to sell DVDs and make YouTube videos. Malcolm X was a serious man. Elijah Muhammad was a serious man. Huey Newton, Eldridge Cleaver, and all our freedom fighters, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, everybody on the battlefield, they was not looking for celebrities. What was they looking for? What was they looking for? They was looking for freedom, justice, and equality. I want a black planet. I'm sick of being around these Caucasian pink people that oppress me. I don't want nothing from them. Leave me alone. You never heard of Malcolm X tell nobody, it's all right, go sleep with pink women, pink men. It's all right. You can still fight for black power. You never heard that from Elijah. You never even heard it from Martin Luther King. Y'all just some lazy, nasty, trifling, pitiful ass niggas. That's the bottom line. And you make me shame. But you want to know something? Y'all not real. Because if you was real, then you need to support the people that really want our freedom, our liberation. But these Uncle Tom, black conscious, black power Negroes, they don't require nothing of you. It's like going to church. Give your tithe. Give your charity. And that's it. You don't want to mess with me. You don't want to organize with me. Because not only will you be put to work, but you're going to be put on a battlefield for real, because we're not going to let crackers. Oh, man. See, that's not even me. See, I'm getting upset. Because I'm not going to sit around and let these pink people kill us when they get ready to. If they kill us, then we got to knock some of them off too. Innocent or guilty. Because none of us are doing anything to deserve that they kill us, so we innocent. So why is it wrong that some of their innocent don't die too? These are men. They bleed, they live, and they die. Just like I can die. Just like I can be hurt. They can be hurt too. And so what? Y'all so scared. Look what they'll do. They'll win. So what? When they wake up in the morning, they still going to have a black eye. When they wake up in the morning, one of their toes shot off. When they wake up in the morning, they won the fight, but they're going to have to deal with their stab wounds. Because we ain't going out like a punk. This ain't church. This is black revolution. Black liberation. And if you're not about that, sit your ass down, please. You are embarrassing everybody who is serious. Just like y'all fakes that go to the Christian church. You know good and well you don't have the discipline to be a good Christian. Running around, the Christian lady got 6 and 7 babies, she not married. The pastors running around, chasing the women, getting them pregnant. Y'all drunk. You go to the club every Saturday and Sunday night. Bunch of fakes. And then you embarrass and make the good Christians, the people that's really trying to be a Christian, you make them look bad. Greedy, selfish, arrogant. And all these people, all this garbage that y'all put up. You don't impress me. That's why they don't mess with me. Because I'm serious as a heart attack. It's time to get our people free. All jokes aside. Stop going to Disneyland. Smoking crack. How you gonna be a black man fighting a revolution and the only thing on your mind is some woman's panties? Y'all panty sniffers. I'm a black revolutionary. Once you get this beast off your back, you deserve a woman. Until you get this beast off your back, you don't deserve no woman, period. You ain't earned nothing. You're not a man. Bunch of cowards. Oh, man. Woo. You understand where I'm coming from. Now, let me get to this post. Actually, all this is in reference